Going to review proportional relationships. We already talked about it a little bit in third quarter, but before we can continue on with slope, we need to freshen our memories on proportional relationships. So uh, a relationship between two quantities is proportional if the ratio between the two quantities is constant. So two things will be true about a graph that is proportional. The graph will be a straight line, and the graph will pass through the origin. Okay, so that is point 0, 0. In a table, we want to check for the equivalent ratios. In other words, in a proportional table, the ratio of y to x will always be constant. All right. So it says complete the table to show the relationship between the number of months at the gym and the total cost of a gym membership. Oh. So if you read above, it says Hillary is looking for a gym to join. One gym offers a membership for $25 a month. Use this information to complete the following. Okay. So if she joins the gym for 0 months, it costs $0. Okay. So to do that, we do 25 times 0. If she joins the gym for 1 month, that's 25 times 1, so it costs her $25. 2 months would be 25 times 2, which is $50. 25 times 3 is 75. 25 times 4 is 100. So what we are doing here is 25 times the x value, and that's going to give us our y value. So it says, what is the slope or the rate of change shown in the table? So that is going to be this number right here, which is 25. It says, is the table proportional? Explain. So, yes. The ratio, so we're going to say the y over x ratio is constant. So if we graph that information, so at 0 months she has spent $0, so a point goes there. At 1 month she has spent $25, so we put a point at 125. Then we go 250, 375, and 100. And we connect our points. Okay, so it says, what is the slope or rate of change in the graph shown? So we know that it is 25. Okay, and then it says, is the graph proportional? So yes, because it goes through the origin. And it's a straight line. All right. So now it says write an equation to represent the relationship between x, the number of months at the gym, and y, the total cost of the gym membership. So if you remember, we used the equation y equals kx when we were talking about it when we were in Unit 3 during third quarter. So we would switch and we would put the unit rate in for k. We do change up the letter. It still means the same thing when we talk about slope, and we will actually write that down here in this box. So it says, do you see slope in the equation? If so, where? So we write yes, and we see it in front of the x. So it says, what conclusion can we make about proportional equations? So we can say the unit rate is found in front of x. The next thing says proportional equations will be written in the form. So this is where we change it up. I don't know why we changed the lettering. We just do. So we're going to use y equals mx because the next lesson we're going to talk about non-proportional relationships, and so those don't go through the origin. They still make a straight line, but in that one we use y equals mx plus b, and this b right here, that tells us where it crosses the y-axis. So from now on, when we talk about proportional relationships, we're going to say y equals mx instead of y equals kx. And so it says where m is the slope, so it says what do the x and y represent in the equation? So the x represents the independent variable, and y represents the dependent variable. All right, last page. It says the table below shows the cost of a certain number of pounds of apples. So it says what is the slope or rate of change? So what we talked about yesterday was our slope formula. So this is an ordered pair. So this is my x, this is my y. We're going to say these are my 1s, these are my 2s. So we're going to do y2, which is 1104, minus y1, which is 552, over 8 minus 4. So give me just a second. 1104 minus 552 is 552. And 8 minus 4 is 4. So then the slope, we do 552 divided by 4. So our slope is 138. So it says, is the table proportional? How do you know? So we're going to say yes. The y over x ratio is constant. So now it says write an equation for the table. So whatever our slope or rate of change was, that's going to be the number in our equation. Y equals 1.38x. Okay. So now on number 2, it says use the graph to answer the questions. What is the slope or rate of change? So I'm going to pick this point, and I'm going to pick this point. Okay. So my rise, okay, because we do rise over run. My rise is 4 because our graph is counting by 2. So our rise is 4. Our run is 3. So it says, is the graph proportional? How do you know? So we're going to say yes. It's a straight line. That goes through the origin. Okay, so now it says write an equation for the graph. So again, we're going to use this as our slope. So we're going to write y equals 4/3 x. All right, that is it for proportional relationships. Get started on your assignment.